Hey, everybody, welcome to the Crypto Beach. Today, we've got Jenny from the blockchain with us. She's going to share how she got into crypto. She's going to talk about some tips and some trends that are interesting to her. So, Jenny, go ahead, share. How did you get into crypto?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I love talking about crypto. Basically, how I got into it was a little bit of merchant processing. I was helping people who were taking credit cards, and I realized that there was so much more going on there because while they thought they were getting 2.75% flat, they were really, when I looked at their effective rate, they were paying like 10%, 11%, 12%, right? It's like, how do you move money? There's got to be a better way to move money, right? And so I was a law student and I was studying cyber law, and I happened to be at WeWork one night. And I knew that I had heard about Bitcoin and things, but I didn't really know a lot about it. So I'm sitting there studying, and I think it might have even been for like intellectual property or gaming or something, which is interesting. And so I was there and studying, and all of a sudden they're starting to show all these computery things and like SHA-256 and Bitcoin mining and stuff like this. And they bring pizza and beer and all these really cool things. And I'm like, wait, what? All these people are coming in. This is so cool. What's going on? And then I found it, like, I think there was a friend or something. So it was like a meetup there. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And so I just started going to meetups every night. And it was just amazing because this is one community that just loves to teach you. They love to teach you. They love to help you. They love to connect you. It's all about community. So there are many projects that I've helped throughout my time. I've told you I was director of presentations at Athena Trade. The parent company for that is Athena Bitcoin. And, they're helping people in Latin America and across who are unbanked and underbanked be able to achieve economic liberty. They're rolling out in El Salvador. And so I was the director of presentations. And so I would have lots of entrepreneurs come in, and they would pitch, and they would do their spiel. And we'd have investors come in, and then we'd have all the Athena people come in. And like they would all do their thing. So we would ask questions. Sometimes we would connect them if they needed more help, or if they were like, oh, I'm looking for this and I need to connect with that person. So it was such a great ecosystem. Then COVID. So then no more Athena Trade, but that's okay. So, and my background's in education. So teaching is always something that I love. I kind of told you a little bit about how teachers are basically like the first blockchain. How else do you get a 5-year-old to do anything? Can't pay them, can't give them candy. So I just gave them fake dollars. And then as I gave them fake dollars, I never realized that they had to sign their little names on the back because I taught kindergarten. And so that was like signing a transaction, right? And so each one of those was a validated transaction. And then the consensus mechanism for that was when they would report out every day, because I didn't have time to go check their desks. No one wants to do that. So it would be like, oh, okay, you have 3, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then they would report out, and some of the other kids would be like, no, that's not fair. He lost 4 in the hallway. Yeah. So that's kind of how I got into it. Just pulled a lot of things that I had been working on together and just gave me a new course, whether it was helping entrepreneurs, coaching entrepreneurs, or educating, or I see so much potential with school funding reform. I think there was just something in on Twitter that I was tweeting about. Whereas like there's the transparency there. Do I think it's going to absolutely change the world and everything, legacy is going to go like out the window? No, I've got to be honest. I think it's going to be assimilation. I think it's going to be, a mesh of everything together.
Definitely. So. Awesome. So what are some tips you would share for someone who is looking at this space?
So the first tips are like listen to get people's opinions and listen when they tell you to use a VPN. When they tell you write down your seed phrase in a really safe place and never ever share it, please do that. All of my friends, like previously I would have so many friends that would be like, oh, you're crazy, I don't know about this Bitcoin thing. And then all of a sudden last year, everyone's calling me or texting me like long lost college or long lost high school people. I'm like, oh, are you still in the Bitcoin? Yeah, blah, blah, got it, blah, blah, blah. I've been doing this. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And I'm like, okay, just remember, and I'm a huge data privacy advocate. So I'm always like, just be careful what you're doing online, careful for SIM swapping, all these things, right? Yeah. And they'd be like, oh no, I got it. And then one last night or like a few nights ago, someone called me and they're like, oh my God, I got $25,000 taken. Help me. And this is so sad to me because this isn't what adoption looks like, right? And so I'm like, okay. So I was asking my friends, I'm like, what should I tell them? Obviously I said, go to you can go to the IC3, which is it's the FBI, but it's the cyber division of it, and then the FTC, and then you'll call your, potentially file with the attorney general of your state and things like that, but not legal advice, but just there's all this education that's got to happen, and wallets like we're talking about. And like I think about my mom doing crypto, like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. We've got to have user interface and user UI UX, right? User interface and user experience that just is seamless. And there we've made so many cool, progress points, milestones, whatever you call them. There's so many cool things. Some of the people that presented for me, I watch them now and like they're like, they're off and they're one of the big guys now. And it's amazing to see. I think that's what I love about crypto, is that
Nice.
Everyone wants to help you. It's a great community, and you can go anywhere.
That's dope. Great point. Yeah, because losing your money, losing your crypto or getting hacked really sucks. It's happened to me. Luckily the wallet didn't have a lot of cash in it or crypto.
Oh no.
But it happens, and it's happening more often as more people get involved. So make sure to keep that seed phrase. You know what I'm saying? It's very important.
Exactly. And ICOs and due diligence. There's like do your own research. Don't go with just because it's flying 10,000%.
Because everybody else is saying get into it doesn't mean you should be getting into it. Yeah.
Exactly. Do
your research. That being said, what are some trends that you're looking at? You mentioned ICOs. There's like DAOs and NFTs. What's really interesting to you?
What's most interesting to me is NFTs, and the way that they transform gaming into. So when I would teach, I would have students that were very technology, driven, and all they want to do is do computer games, and that's like the future. So if you can do that play to earn, or you've got artists that are, they're new artists, they're not really discovered yet, and they get to drop their art. If you've got a community of people that you're going to build a game, gaming is so interesting. And when I say game, I don't mean necessarily this crazy complicated game, right? I mean, anything that you can gamify, any experience even that you can gamify. I think that's the coolest trend, because as humans, we're very into positive reinforcement and game theory, and all of the tokenization is just very similar to how we think, and the dopamine, reinforcement and things like that. And so because of that, I think that gaming will be the future. And I think that NFTs are a way to have something before, this is obviously not legal advice. There's lots of discussion going on, but it's nice to have, if you've got a game, and instead of just in an ICO and you're just dumping money in, like in 2017, if you have, you're buying an NFT, you're buying a drop, you're invested in the community, you're interacting, and then you get to kind of, whether it's governance, whether the NFT equals governance, or the NFT equates to special privileges in a game. To me, that's so interesting. And I think so many things can be done with that in engaging children or students or people that are disinterested. And when I say children or students, I mean at any age, really. It doesn't have to just be children. So I think those are the coolest things. What do you think?
I agree. I think that the gaming space, play to earn, is getting very interesting. It's getting very hot. It reminds me of when Pokemon Go was super popular, went viral. Everybody was talking about it. It was going everywhere. The thing about play to earn that's super interesting is the fact that they also have those viral dynamics. However, when you look at Roblox or like some of these other, like Minecraft, some of these other games that have like huge communities and they have their own meetups, and it's basically a whole subculture in of itself. It really suggests that there's a big opportunity here with play to earn.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it pulls everyone in and it gives everyone a place. And there's, everyone can belong. And I think that's why I feel so strongly about that, because I think there's a lot of things, like whether it's the shadow banking and after Dodd-Frank and all of this, that excluded people from the financial system, or people that are excluded from society because they're not, they're round pegs and we're looking for square, round holes and square pegs.
Yeah, no worries. It's all good.
They just think a little differently. I think that it's a way for everyone to find a way to belong, to make money, to monetize their skills. There are some really cool crypto people I follow, like I think it's SS Becker, and Elio Trades, and they're always talking about community and things, and how it might be like that you're building, like in, like, let's say it would be Decentraland, you're building something there and then you sell that, and then, you know, that's an asset. So like you're doing your thing. And I know my daughter is so into Minecraft, so it's funny that you said that, right? She's building all these beautiful things in Minecraft and it's so fun to watch her. And then at the same time thinking that she could sell that, you know, and then get royalties off of that. That's great. I think that could really, I mean, you've got marketing there, you've got you've got building, you've got computers, you've got math, you've got so many different skills coming together. Definitely. When you said Pokemon Go, that's really interesting because I thought that was great from a health perspective, because my daughter was always like, oh, can you just carry my phone while we drive? I just like, you know, be rolling in traffic. I'm like, no, that's the point. You're supposed to be getting out there. So I think that I do think that there's the sky is the limit as far as where it goes and where we get taken. But I think that it's got to be done responsibly. And I think that because crypto is now older, right? It's not a young pup anymore, that we're in a good place. So I have a lot of hope for the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jenny. Any sort of plugs, maybe websites, handles that you feel the audience, I mean, like, how can they connect with you?
Oh yeah, so you can connect with me on Twitter. I'm Lula Educate. It's all about crypto, right? But then as the world became a little more political and things, I started just J from the blockchain too. So that's just crypto. If you don't want to hear my education and all of my other thoughts, of just go with that one. That one's just straight up trading and crypto. But yeah, and otherwise just lulaco.io is my website, and I do consulting, and I just love connecting. So if anyone wants to be connected to someone that I know or is looking for a project and looking for some sort of resource or something, happy to connect. I miss doing that. So.
All right, cool. Thanks so much for joining us today. All right.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Have a great night.
All right, you too.